Okay, so we're going to, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that little chart of 30, 45, 60 that we did in class on Friday, and we're going to apply that now to the unit circle itself. Okay, now if you notice I'm missing some values on here on purpose. I want to make sure we understand where these values come from. Okay, now the only values I have on here right now are our quadrant values, just by adding 90. The beginning is 0, but it's also 360. So at the start, it's 0. After one full rotation, it's 360. Okay? And then I have the quadrant 1 values that we derived and found using 30, 60, 90 right triangles and 45, 45, 90 right triangles on Friday. Okay? And if you remember, we found both a cosine and cosine and sine value of those. Okay? And we did that remembering that your cosine value is from what we talked about yesterday, cosine always goes with x, sine always goes with y. Cosine always goes with x, sine always goes with y. Okay? So we're going to start by going back to that chart that we did Friday. And cosine of 1/2 from our chart that we made on Friday is square root 3 over 2. Cosine always goes first. Cosine is x. Sine of 30 is 1/2. Okay? Do you remember what 45 was? I can't quite recall.
I don't even remember making the chart.
Root 2 over 2 for both at 45. And then 60, you just flip 30. So it's 1/2 square root 3 over 2. I can't read that. Okay? And again, this is all from the center, which is 0, 0. And if I was finding and drawing lines and creating triangles, that's telling me the distance of x and y at that angle from the edge of the circle to the center. That's what that's finding with the unit circle. So if we start at 0, so I didn't put a value in for 0. It's 1, 0. Because if you think about it, we said that the radius of a unit circle is always 1. And that distance is 1 unit across, and it's not up or down any because it's still on the x-axis. Is everybody with me there? Yep. Okay. What would 90 be then? If 0 is 1, 0, 90 is 0, 1. It's on the y-axis. It's going up 1 unit. Okay? So that's why that one is 0, 1. Now, okay, we're quickly going to we're going to do this, the rest of the second quadrant, and then we'll go from there. So, look at the pattern that we've developed here. From 0 to 30 is 30 degrees. 30 to 45 is how many degrees? 15. 45 to 60 is 15. 60 to 90 is 30. So it's 30, 15, 15, 30. So if I start at 90 and I add 30, that's 120. Then I add 15, so that's 135. I add 15, 150. I add 30, I'm at 180.
Why did you skip 165?
Okay? Then I repeat the pattern again. 30 gives me 210. 15, 225. 15, 240. 30. Give me 270. And then Again, lastly, add 30, that gives me 300, 15, 315, 15, 330, add 30, I'm back at 360. So that gives me all the degree measures around my unit circle. What are these degree measures from? If I was to draw a 30, 60, 90 right triangle in each quadrant, those would be the angles that are formed. And if I draw a 45, 45, 90 triangle, that would be the angles that are formed. So, we're going to do quadrant 2 quickly, and then we'll save 3 and 4 for tomorrow. So if we look at quadrant 1, what do we know about x and y? They're both what? Are they both positive or negative? Positive. X and y in quadrant 1 are both positive. Do we agree on that? How about quadrant 2? Which one is negative? X. And what about y? Positive. So this is quadrant 2. Quadrant 1. How about quadrant 3?
Negative, negative.
They are both negative.
Negative.
And quadrant 4?
Positive, negative.
Positive, negative. Okay? That is important for this reason. If you remember what we talked about with cofunctions, if they are 90 degrees apart, their values should be either the same or opposite. So if we look, 30-degree angle is a reference angle with 150. So 30 and 150 have the same numbers. They may just have a different sign. So if I look, well, this is 30 degrees from here. This is 30 degrees from here. So 150 is going to be, which one's negative? X or y?
X.
X. So 150 is going to be negative square root 3 over 2, positive 1/2. I'm taking the exact same value as at 30 degrees, because it's a reference angle with 150. The only thing that changes is its sign, based off of what quadrant it's in. Same thing with 45. We did this yesterday in class. We found 135. And we said that this was negative square root 2 over 2, positive square root 2 over 2. It's a reference angle with 45 degrees. The only difference is, in quadrant 2, the x value is negative. Based off of that logic, what should 120 be?
Negative 1/2, positive 3, whatever.
Negative half, positive square root 3 over 2. Very good. Okay? You could probably use that logic to find the rest of it, but we will talk about that in completion tomorrow.